and welcome back to the Beyond Barriers series with me, Ella B. Hope you're enjoying the interview so far, guys, and as you know, this is a series that I'm doing in order to help celebrate and share with you the amazing stories of people who have had such a positive impact on the disabled sporting community. We've got another great interview lined up for you today, and we are with the ultimate power couple. I would like to introduce you today to Issy Bailey and Matt Skelhon. They are both parachuters and have both competed in Paralympic Games. Matt has competed in both Beijing, London and Rio, and then Issy has also competed in Rio Paralympics herself. They are both aiming towards Tokyo, and I would like to interview them to share with you their story and their journey in their sporting career so far. They're a lovely couple and they are such a laugh, so I hope you really enjoy this interview and I hope you learn even more about Paralympic shooting. So without further ado, I'd like to pass you on to Issy and Matt. Enjoy! Connecting.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you alright?
Yeah, good. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are things?
Yeah, not too bad.
Thanks. And thank you for doing this. I'm really sorry to drag you into it, but I thought you were a great pair. Why not?
All good.
So thank you very much. Issy, you can be the star of the show if you really want.
No.
Yeah, you just sat there like,
No.
I just wanted to start off by asking you both about your early lives pre-injury, and like what were you like as children? Were you sporty? Did you do sport, and did either of you compete at a high level in sport? I don't know. Let's start with Matt. Let's go with you first.
I wasn't really sporty. I did a bit. I used to play cricket and football at school, but not to a high level at all. I don't think I was any good really. I just used to do it for fun. But yeah, I suppose I was active, but I wasn't really into any sport seriously.
And do you have any brothers and sisters? Like, did you?
Yeah,
play
I've got a
sport with
sister.
them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was into
Issy, what about you?
riding for a bit.
Oh, nice.
No, I think I went along once and rode like when my sister had a sort of bring your family along day.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
I can't see you on a horse.
I won't keen. They got a brain of their own. I'm better on a motorbike.
Yeah. When I was a kid, yeah, I was pretty sporty. I started playing hockey when I was like I think 8. And we've still got like embarrassing photos of my first like under 9 county tournament kind of cringe. But yeah, like hockey was my main sport. I played that to quite a high level. I played National League club. I played first team, university, National League. And then
First team, so you must have been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I chose Exeter partly because of obviously the course was great, and partly because they were top 4 in the country for their sport, and they just had like loads of renovations done and like a new AstroTurf and everything. So that was a big pull. Yeah, I played a lot of hockey, and kind of played at regional level, like individually, and then club wise a bit higher. Other than that,
Just a bit more than me.
a smidge, yeah. Like
You've got one up.
My school was like known for its sport, so like I did athletics and lacrosse at regional level and stuff like that. But like hockey was the main one.
Yes, the sport was in your blood. You wanted to do it anyway.
Yeah. I definitely.
Have you always preferred team sports or not?
Yeah, like pre-injury, that's like I didn't do any individual sports. I always did team sports, which is why like shooting was quite a surprise turnout for me. I always thought, right, I'm going to get straight into the wheelchair rugby. That's what I'm going to get stuck into, and then I just happened to like fall into this first. Yeah.
Just fall into it.
Just
just have a go at shooting and be good at it.
Cool kids. Yeah.
Look where I got you. We'll get into that in a second. And so all 3 of us are all spinal, which is quite interesting. We're all spinal injuries, which is actually probably not unusual, really. So how did you both become injured? How did you acquire your injuries? I think we'll go with Matt again first, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure. I'm just making sure our Wi-Fi is connected to the right thing. So.
That's okay.
Yeah, it keeps like just freezing a bit. Just bear with.
Did you hear me all right though?
Yeah. So my spinal injury was following a car accident in 2005.
How old were you? Age?
I was 19, 20. Yeah, I was 20. Yeah.
And what lesions are you?
I think I've gone through a few years thinking I was 19 when it happened, but actually I was 20. I'm a T10 complete paraplegic.
So you're, for those of you who don't know, like lower, more like waist, aren't you? Really?
Yeah, sort of belly button down, really.
Yeah. And so that's interesting because Issy, when you injured, same kind of age?
Yeah, mine was a car crash. I was 19, and I was 19. I'm sure I was 19. In 2013.
So not that long ago, really.
Well, it doesn't still feel like that long ago. And then this year, like, can you say celebrated? I don't know, celebrated like 7 years of being injured, which that does seem like quite a long time.
Yeah, mine's
so bizarre. Like, don't
15 years ago. It's mental.
I can't imagine it as a celebration, but people do, which is fine. I totally understand it. And I remember the day I had my big back operation. It's really weird what, like, you're like, oh, that's 10 years ago, and you just remember it. Obviously, you're going to remember a scenario like that. But yeah, it's weird to like think of it as a celebration.
Yeah, maybe not like celebrate, but just like
life's changed.
You just note the day in your head, don't you? You just kind of sort of have that memory of that day. You know, June 23rd is always going to be a shit day. Oh, am I not allowed to swear in this interview? Okay.
No, it's fine. You're allowed. So how was that day for you? I mean, obviously, rubbish day, and you probably don't remember much of it. But how much did that change your life?
You can go first.
It changed my. Well, I suppose it started the path to sort of changing my life with shooting. Really, it sort of ended sort of the jobs and stuff that I was doing before. I used to work on a golf course. I was a greenskeeper, and I used to help out on a local farm harvest time and stuff like that. So there were sort of jobs that I couldn't really get back into after I'd had my accident. So I guess in my head, I just thought I was going to take a year out and chill out and look at my sort of options and where to go. And within that time, I just sort of fell into shooting as well, following the Spinal gains.
Seems to be a pattern here. Just fall into shooting.
Yeah.
How do you get into shooting? Oh, you just fall into it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I shot a bit before. Do you know what I mean? Just for fun, like a little bit of clay pigeon shooting, rabbit shooting, stuff like that. And then when I went to Spinal games and tried it out, I was pretty good straight away. So yeah,
nice,
lucky,
natural,
yeah.
And Issy, how big was your change? How life-changing was your car accident?
When I had my injury, I was at university, so I hadn't like really chosen my career path exactly yet. I was doing literature. I'd done my first year, so I was about to start actually working properly and not just partying. So I had my injury in like the summer holidays. I then took a year out.
That can't have been easy to then go back. Well, you couldn't go back. But
I didn't know if I was going to be able to like go back and be a student as I had known the student experience before. But I took a year out for rehab, and then I went back like in 2014 and finished my undergrad. But in that year out, that's when I started shooting, when I was in rehab. And before I went back to uni, I had made the team. So I already kind of, I didn't have a career path as such. And then one kind of just like showed up in that year.
Yeah.
So then I finished my BA, and then it was Rio in the same year. So I was just going to like see how Rio went and as to whether I was going to carry on or not. And I kept my job after Rio. So carried on with that. So like I'm doing my master's now in literature, so still like looking to the future to do that. But has my injury changed my career path? Like I don't really know, because I don't really know what I was going to do before.
Yeah. Interesting. And have you ever talked about your injuries together, like your accident days or anything, or is it just one you just forget about?
Yeah, I think we have, haven't we, a little bit?
Yeah, we've definitely talked about it. Like this year we were fishing when we were out, and I got really bad sunburn and had a nap under the trees while you did all the hard work. And when is your day?
11th of May.
Oh yeah, that's my brother's birthday. Yeah.
Oh, joyful.
Yeah.
It doesn't really bother me, to be honest. It's never really. I've never looked back at it as a bad thing. So
just a new change, new path.
Just a change. Yeah.
That's just quite interesting that you could share those experiences, because I think a lot of people can't have that to share with someone who completely gets it.
Yes.
So that's quite cool. Right, we'll go on to your sports. That's the best bit. That's the interesting bit.
Not at the moment.
And so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming you two met through shooting.
Yes, we did.
And how did you both get into the sport then?
Mine was at Spinal Games, but I can't even speak now. Into competitive shooting.
Right. And was that when you first came out of hospital or not, or was that a few years later?
Yeah, it was. So I came out of hospital in end of August 2005, and then Spinal Games were April 2006.
Yeah, because you can only attend them if you've been injured in the year, haven't you?
Yeah, within a year. Yeah, and it was pretty quick, really. I think the first sort of training camp I went to was in May, and then I won a silver at the Nationals in June.
Who won?
So natural talent there.
Nathan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he'd been shooting for quite a few years.
Yeah. I'm not used to people beating you. Yeah. I got into shooting. So I was in hospital at Stoke, where the GB team were training at the time, and an ex-patient came in and said, "Oh, what are you doing as a pastime? Go down, have a go." So that's how I approached it. It was just a pastime when I was in rehab. Around about October 2013 was when I probably started going. I left hospital in December and kept going back to like training camps and things. And then I did my first World Cup I did it like a couple of weeks before the Spinal Games. So I did it in like March, and then the Spinal Games were April. So when that Spinal Games came around, they didn't actually want me to shoot, because they said it would be like unfair. Even though I shoot pistol and the Spinal Games was rifle, there were other people that wanted to shoot, so they shot, and I did table tennis and fencing instead or something. Yeah.
And so was that less than a year after your accident that you went to those?
Yeah, I was lucky that the first, like when I made the right scores to get on the team, the first World Cup coming up was actually at Stoke Mandeville. So it was really easy to just like enter me and I can just attend that. And I came 6th, I think. And then I went to Poland in a couple of weeks later as the next World Cup. And then that was my like first year on the circuit. I just did 2 competitions and then went back to.
Just the 2, but that's amazing.
Yeah, it was good fun actually. It was good fun. I wasn't expecting anything like that to happen, so yeah, it was good.
But when you're just trying to get your head around an injury too, and then to represent your country and do that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool when you like get your first bit of kit and stuff. Like you feel really.
I love the good kit.
You just got so much.
So how often do you two both train now? And do you train together or do you train separately? Do you have separate programs?
Like right now, there's just nothing happening at all.
No.
Yeah, in normal life.
Normal times. Sometimes we train together. If we're both training air, like if Izzy's shooting 10-meter air pistol and I'm shooting 10-meter air rifle, we'll be on the same range. But we have got separate coaches, separate programs, but we're all around in the same place most of the time.
Like the team gets together for like the week of training. The rifles shoot 10 meters and 50, and I shoot 10 meters and 25. So sometimes I'm off on my own. I shoot with the British Army shooters, so I like see a lot of different faces. So yeah, we kind of train together, but also not against each other, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
And when you are together, is the shooting team quite a close knit team, or like are you good friends, or do you not get on at all?
It's a mix of people.
Yeah.
I think everyone gets on. Everyone gets on and stuff. But obviously, when you sort of leave shooting, and you probably don't have any contact with some of the people for like 2 weeks or something then and stuff. So, but I mean, everyone supports each other at competitions and things like that.
Yeah, you know Tim, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So, of our shooting team, like outside of shooting, Tim's the only one that sort of like meet up with and hang out with. But when we're all together, we all like support each other and get on when we're there, like colleagues.
Yeah, that's the best way to be, I think, because then you're not too invested in it, and you can get away from it when you want to.
This one. I hang out with him sometimes outside of shooting.
Yeah, every now and again. Yeah.
I feel like you might be stuck with him now, not invested. No, it's good. So Matt, I'm going to start with your journey first, if that's all right, and then I'll come back to you, Izzy. Is that all right? Cool. And you are arguably renowned as one of the best, well, I don't know if you were still, but GB parachuters in the country. And your first games was Beijing?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
How was that games for you? Obviously, for us as a British public, that's when we first became aware of you because of your amazing GB mohawk.
yeah, that was mad. That was. Yeah, that was a crazy time. That was a crazy time. I think
How old were you back then for 2008?
I was 24. 23.
Okay.
I was 23 at the games. I was 24 after I come back.
Do you know how old you are now?
No idea. I've stopped having birthdays now. That was crazy. That was just 3 years after I'd had my injury. So it was mental. It was mental. I didn't go there expecting to win or anything. I went for the experience. The plan was to sort of concentrate on London, really. And
did you know the world circuit at that stage, or were you still trying to get to learn it? And did you know who your big competitors were?
I did. Yeah, I started international competition 2007.
Okay, so you did a couple of years.
I'd been to. I'm not sure now. Probably did 3 or 4 internationals 2007, and maybe three before the games as well. So I got an idea as to who I was up against. But I mean, I'd won some medals at those internationals, but I'd never shot 600 when we were on the old scoring system, and I'd never won a gold medal. I'd always had a silver or bronze or something, and obviously depending on how big the field was and who was there. So I was just going for the experience really ahead of London, and I don't know, I just enjoyed every minute of it. I thought I'd do some crazy stuff with my hair, so if nothing else, I got some media attention for that.
Well, it worked pretty well. And so, do you think you were more relaxed because of that? Because you didn't have that pressure on you, and because you were literally your first games, it doesn't really matter what you did, and you just felt more relaxed because of that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there was no pressure there at all. I just went there to have a great time and enjoy every minute of it. And it was good. I mean, until I started shooting, and then the pressure was there as much as it is in any competition, just from the pressure that I put on myself, I think. And
how was the final?
The final was all right. It was the qualifying that was hard. Getting down to getting down to that last shot, and knowing that in the past I'd always got to the last shot and I dropped a 9 on the last shot because I just got too nervous, and it took me ages to take that last shot. I kept turning around and looking at my coach, and I was like breathing, and oh my god, it was a nightmare. And I literally sat there on aim for that last shot and closed my eyes as I squeezed the trigger. And then I opened and looked at the screen and it was a 10, and I was like, oh my god, I've done it.
Wow.
And then I did the finals. The finals a whole different ball game then, because back when the scoring was that way round, you took your qualifying score into the final. So if you managed to build up some points ahead of the field, then you took them through. But it's different now. So no, I was more relaxed in the final, but winning that was, I don't even know. I don't even know how it felt. It was mental.
Did you go in
mental.
first?
Yeah.
Yeah. By how much?
There was 2 or 3 of us shot 600, I think.
Oh right, okay.
So there was 2 or 3 at the beginning of the final on the same score.
Oh right.
Yeah.
But
I was I was on firing point 1, and my bib number was 1111.
And then you came.
And then I came first.
I feel like 1's your lucky number now then.
Yeah, it should be, yeah.
But yeah, amazing to get a gold on your first Paralympics. That's good.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Did that increase your media coverage when you got back?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It all went pretty mental after that. The few months following were just a blur. I mean, just doing stuff, visiting places, speaking to people. It was really incredible.
Rightly so. You deserved it. I mean, you'd worked hard and you'd done it, so rightly so. And then you went on to London. Obviously, it's a home games, bit different scenario. Did you feel a lot more pressure with that?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, big time. It made me ill, in fact, leading up to the games. I lost so much weight through stress and stuff like that leading up to London. I think I'd gone from nothing to winning a gold at the Paralympics in a record time, and then I was sort of expected then to go to London and do the same thing. And I really struggled in the year leading up to that. But
and do you think that affected your performance overall in the games or not?
I don't think so. No. Luckily, I don't think it did. But yeah, it was horrendous compared to Beijing. I still managed to enjoy the whole games experience, but on the days I was shooting, man, it was something else. The pressure was through the roof. But I just managed to rise above it and come out of there with a couple of medals still.
Yeah, I was going to say, you held it together because you came away with silver and bronze, is that right?
Yeah, silver and bronze, yeah.
And that silver was tight because you just missed out by 0.3 points, right?
Yeah, I know, yeah, mad. I think I had one 10.2 in the final, which if that had been a 10.5 or 6, like half the other shots, that would have been the gold. But it is what it is. It's so tight now in the finals that you just don't know.
Well, I'm sure the home crowd would have still been behind you anyway, no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, the bronze as well, because I'd only just taken up the 2-2 sort of 2 years prior to that. So that was cool to get that medal.
That's cool. And which is your favourite? Obviously, I know everyone would normally think gold, but is it actually the gold?
I don't know. I mean, those 2 games, they're just completely different. The gold from Beijing means something because it was my first games and it was my first gold medal, first time I'd ever shot 600. And then London was a home games. I mean, it's a completely different experience. So those 2 medals there mean just as much, but in a different way.
Yeah, interesting. No, that's so exciting though. But also to have all 3 is very satisfying, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Rio was a difficult game for you, wasn't it? Do you even like to talk about Rio or not?
Yeah, it just wasn't a good games really for multiple factors. It was annoying really because I trained really well going into it and I was shooting really well going into it. I don't really know what happened with the air rifle side, to be honest. It was like I was shooting well and then I got there on the day and it just wouldn't happen. With 2-2, I think it was more annoying because I shot a Paralympic record in the qualifying round. And then I went into the final and there was some...
the announcements.
Yeah, the announcements. So we have to shoot on command in the final. It's all under time limits and stuff like that. And
is that a new thing that was brought in, or?
Yeah, it was brought in after London. I think because this no, before London. I can't think now. It's changed a couple of times in the last few years, just because things were getting so close. and to try and make it more interesting as well for the public and people watching on TV. But so the range officer was doing the announcements between shots. I think we should have had 2 shots, one after another. And after I took my first shot, he said to stop. So I thought there'd been a problem or something, and I stopped and looked around, and everyone else was still shooting. And then I was sort of rushed then to try and get my next shot off, and that was it. I lost my head, and I couldn't concentrate after that.
Yeah, so hard that you just need one distraction like that, and that's it. Like, it's very hard to concentrate.
Yeah, so that was annoying.
Yeah, there were quite
there
a few,
was a lot of other things as well.
There were quite a few countries that complained about the same thing, because like their athletes obviously will have like heard the announcer make the wrong call, and some of them just carried on, and some of them are sort of like, well, do I stop or do I not? So
I made the mistake. I should really have just put my hand up at that point and stopped the final and sort of made a complaint and said, look, something's gone wrong here. But then it might not have made a difference, because then I might have felt even more pressure on me from sort of stopping everyone and doing that. But
in that moment, your instinct is to like, what do I do? And you question it, don't you? But you can't control that. Don't worry, it's not your fault. And so what's the plan now? Do I dare even mention retirement, or are you going to continue? Are you still fighting forward?
Still sort of set for Tokyo at the moment.
Good.
It's just been such a funny time this year, hasn't it? But we just don't know what's going on, when our next competition is. Realistically, we're on the verge of getting back into some sort of training camps, but you just don't know. Every week,
I'm just thinking across the moment that Tokyo is even going to happen. Like, really hope it is. So Issy, we'll thank you so much. I'll go on to Issy if that's all right, and I'll let you share your story, Issy.
My story's a lot shorter, so that's good.
No, it's good. You've both got amazing achievements, which is why I wanted to interview you both at the same time. So yeah, you went to your first World Cup just after. Was it World Championships or World Cup?
No, it was the World Cup. So 2015, I was still sort of like not doing A-class World Cups. I was just doing B-class stuff. And then I did the GB Cup again, and then I went to Poland, and I did well in Poland. I came first in qualifying, and then came out in the final in 4th. And then I won a bronze in another event, which isn't a Paralympic event, but it was good fun. But because of the qualifying score in my 10-meter air, I got selected for A-class competitions. At that time, like, selection was a little bit different. So, and that was in 2015, which is the year that they're doing the qualifiers for the 2016 games. So I went to a couple of the qualifiers, which, like, I wasn't really expecting to go to, because our manager, Pasan, at the time, like, you know Pasan, he said that he didn't have me in mind for Rio, he had me in mind for Tokyo. So I went to a couple of the qualifiers, and the standard was so much higher than I was used to. It was awesome. I made a couple of finals, and I missed out on a quota place, by the person above me got the quota place in the end. So I was really gutted, because I was like so close. To something that I didn't think I was going to get to, and then actually, like, I was too close. It got annoying, kind of thing.
It almost disappointment worse, because you're like in touching reach.
Yeah, it was like I wasn't expecting to get there, and then I missed out, not by a lot, which would have kind of maybe softened the blow, and been more realistic, but instead it was like really narrow margins. And then in April, Pasan called me to say that I've been given like a wild card place. So I had like 5 months to get back in shape, basically, because he was like, well, you're on the plane now, and I was like, oh snap.
No.
Yeah, so I had to like pull my finger out, and of course, like, I wasn't planning to go to the games, and the people that had already qualified were in like full training mode, and I was kind of like on the back burner a bit. So I planned like a really big holiday. I went traveling with a friend of mine for like 4 weeks, and like, I wasn't taking it very seriously. And then I was actually in Iceland when the official selection came out. And then like got all these messages from people saying like, oh, like, how's your training going? Like, what do you think your chances are? And I was like, I'm in a spa in Iceland. I'll be back soon to training, I promise. Like, it was really surreal. It was really surreal. But yeah, it all happened so fast. Like the summer of 2016, had like this massive traveling spree. I graduated and then went straight to the games. It was just a whirlwind. Yeah, it was amazing. It was good.
And so did you feel like Matt did then when you went into the game? Did you feel like you had no pressure, or did you feel like you had to perform to prove that you earned that right to be there?
Well, I didn't give myself a big Mohican. So
that's what you need, see.
I tried to stay in the background a little bit because, yeah, like my goals that my coach set for me, you know, he did want me to make the final, which I didn't. I know I missed out on the final, but my score was like quite low for my average, but unfortunately, like the rest of the competition was also quite low. So if I just shot my average, like I would have been in the final. But like everyone, I think nerves got to everyone on the day, which was reflected like, across the board. But yeah, my goals were just to like understand a bit more about what the games was about, just enjoy the experience, and then build on that, like moving forward, hopefully to the next games. So yeah, I only competed in one event in Rio, which was 10 meter air. And for Tokyo, I'm qualified for 2 events. So that'll be like a bit more exciting, gives me more sort of a chance to settle in and enjoy even more competition. But yeah.
But do you feel ready now for Tokyo, having had that games as like a good practice? You know what the Paralympics looks like then, you know how they feel, you know the excitement, you can now go on to Tokyo.
Yeah, definitely. Like I felt like Rio was like in the end, because it was a wildcard place, I felt so privileged to be there. Like it was a bit of a gift, you know. It was sort of like see what you can do. So yeah, I was like very much rabbit in the headlights, just like soaked up all the atmosphere. So now going into Tokyo, I feel like, you know, I've done that now. I've had the fun. I've been there for the novelty, and like this time, sort of ready to take it a bit more seriously. I'm still going to go and enjoy it and enjoy all the perks that the village has to offer and all the extras that come along. But yeah, definitely there this time, more focus on the competition.
So you're not going travelling beforehand then?
No, like I didn't plan any travelling. Maybe I should now. It's next year. Yeah.
I feel like that might relax you. Oh well, it's good fun. So
yeah.
How much has your training changed at the moment? Like, have you been able to do anything in this lockdown, or have you both just been like champing at the bit to get going again?
We have done some stuff at home. Like we can do a little bit of training here for air rifle and air pistol, and we did at the beginning of lockdown do some shooting. The last few weeks, it's just sort of took a back seat, really.
Yeah.
I remember Issy saying
it's hard because we live in the house with more.
Sorry.
That's right. No, yeah, we set up the target and everything.
Yeah.
But there's 5 people in the house at the minute, and of course in lockdown, when they're always in the house, it's really hard to have that 10-meter space with no one walking through it. So we've turned our focus more to like staying fit and staying strong and keeping up good nutrition, so that when we do go back into training camps, we hit the ground running. But the actual technical shooting side, we haven't done too much.
No. We were sort of told to have a 3 or 4 week break, and we're hoping to get to a first camp in Cardiff in mid-September.
Oh,
so,
that's not long now.
Complete break leading up to that.
Yeah, and we did have a European Championships scheduled for November, so we kind of had something to work towards. But now that's been cancelled, so the calendar's not going to start again now until February, March next year for competition. So we're just taking it easy for a bit, taking a break, and then we'll get back into it when we know which competitions are going ahead.
Gosh, February and March next year, that's quite late leading up to Paris, isn't it? Because then that's quite late to know where everyone is at in the country, in the world, sorry, and you can't judge your other competitors.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what anybody else is doing at the moment, how anyone in other countries is dealing with the situation, how much training anyone's doing. I don't know really. So we'll find out when we go to the UAE, hopefully, and see what's going on.
I guess the good thing is that the world's affected, not just the UK. Like, I guess that's a good thing, that it's affected everyone.
Yeah, it's going to be weird because none of us will have competed for like a year and a half, which is not what you want leading up to games here, really. No. I think that's been the toughest thing for me is not competing, because I've been at it for quite a while. Just shooting for training or just training for nothing is the enjoyment's not there like it was when I started. Now I enjoy competing and I enjoy training for a competition. So if I've got nothing to work towards, it's really hard to sort of find the hunger to keep going.
Yeah, not easy at all. I don't envy any athletes in this time. Like, I think I would have lost all motivation to keep going. So well done for even keeping fit and even being nutritious. So well done. Yeah, I suppose that we've just focused on that, haven't we? That's given us something else new to sort of focus on. At least when we go back, we're going to be. Well, I'm definitely going to be fitter than I ever was. So you might be the only people coming out of lockdown fitter and healthier. Yeah. Cool. Well, I've got one final question that I ask all my interviewees, just because I think it's a good comparison. But within sport, it's always good to have that downtime and rest. I know you've had about 4 months of it, which is too much. But is there anything that is your guilty pleasure for your downtime? And it can be food, or it can be like a TV program, or whatever you choose, or a hobby that you do as your guilty pleasure to help you relax.
Food.
a Costa caramel latte and a tuna melt. Yeah,
just like.
Oh, I feel like you know it. I feel like this is Mr. and Mrs. and you know it very well.
You know, it's my order.
We've had too many of them. There's been a couple of weeks before we started on the fitness thing where we were in Costa every day for lunch.
Yeah,
we need to stop this.
Yeah, we've been driving around getting things for the new house, and of course, when you're just driving and you're out and all restaurants have been closed, just Costa every day, and we just drive through and just order the same things. So
they must know your order by now.
Yeah, the usual, please, is what we say. Food. What else? We like to sit down and watch a bit of TV, don't we?
Yeah.
We've like binged a couple of shows. We binged like some Apple TV things, didn't we?
Yeah, binged a bit of telly. Built some Lego.
Oh yeah, built a lot of Legos.
You know what? Lego's a good one. Lego's really enjoyable, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do you go for the big structures?
Okay, isn't it?
We've got the last thing I built was
there's one there. I'll get it for you.
Apollo 11 lunar lander. That's pretty cool.
That's cool. That is cool.
Frozen. I should take a picture of that.
Can you get it? Izzy got me the new Land Rover Defender for Christmas as well, so that was pretty cool.
Like that.
Oh, that's so cool. That's amazing. So intricate.
Yeah, we watched like a bunch of these Brian Cox space things on TV, and it just, then when they finished, we were a little bit miffed. So we bought those to celebrate.
I love space. Like, we were out stargazing the other day and we saw so many shooting stars. I love it.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. It's the meteor shower,
isn't it? The programs are really. Oh, it's not stuck down.
No, it's not stuck down.
It's cool.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. I probably ought to let you go off and enjoy your day, whatever you might do. What are you up to today?
Going to do a little bit of shopping. It's my mum's birthday at the end of the week, so last minute birthday.
Good thinking.
Fine.
We've got like 3 days. It's not last minute.
Yeah,
for
it's
you.
not last minute. No, it's not tomorrow.
Well, enjoy the sunshine wherever you do. I'm really sorry, and thank you so much for coming today and letting me do this with me. So thank you very much.